Welcome to Homegrown Wealth, where we're turning real estate knowledge into lasting prosperity. In this episode, we're talking about the home selling process, when you know it's time to sell, how to prepare your home, and the listing process. And to help me shed some light on these questions and topics, I have two past clients with me, still current clients. I love all my clients, and we're always connected. So I have Evie Harmon and I have Val Martin. So when you decide to sell your home, I think it first starts with a thought. And it could just be something as small as I'm in the kitchen, you have family or you have people over, and you're just like, this would just be so much better if it was an open space. So it always starts with a thought of, I may possibly need to sell. So I want to ask you two, first, Evie, what made you decide to sell?
Well, we lived in Greenville, and my husband was an associate dentist in Greenwood, which is about an hour away, and he lost his mind and bought the practice, and we just logistically could not be an hour away from our business. So we had to move locations.
Okay, so it was a job change for you.
It was. And also a welcome change, because we weren't big on our first house that we bought. It was a starter home. It had one bathroom. You know, it wasn't everything that we wanted in a house, but we were fine there.
It was a starter home.
It was a starter home.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay, Val. So what made you decide to sell?
Growing family.
That'll definitely do it.
Growing family. So I needed something bigger. And my condo was very small. And it was 2-bedroom, 2-bath, even though the master just wasn't big enough for 2 people.
What conversations or things were happening when you came to the resolution, like, let's sell?
We were also looking to buy a house at the same time because we're moving locations. So finding the house that we wanted really motivated us to get our house on the market because we didn't want to float 2 mortgages. So that was really the urgency for us.
So let me ask you this, Val. Did it make you nervous to think of, because I know, so this is the thing when people want to sell a home. I know that everyone wants to find the new home first and then go to market. And what I always try to tell people is that it's a lender's call if you need financing, because you have to be able to float 2 mortgages, like you said, Eddie. And sometimes the debt to income ratio won't be able to float 2 mortgages. So sometimes you do have to put your home up for sale first. And then once you go under contract, then you turn around and you look for your new home. So I want to ask Val, how did it make you feel to hear that you would have to sell and then turn around and buy?
That was the scary part. That was the scary part for me. I was like, I'm going to have to sell. I don't have anywhere to live. I was looking for somewhere else to stay. I'm going to have to move in with this person for 6 months. Oh, the house will be ready for this. That then all of a sudden it didn't work out like that. So I found somewhere to rent. And it lasted much longer than I expected, but at least I was in a very nice environment. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But after I sold, I moved into a rental for a few years and kept talking to you. And every day it was like, Jill, what you think? I like this house. I don't like. Val, you ain't gonna like it. Val, you ain't gonna like it. You knew me too good.
So. She did the same thing to me.
She did it. Did you?
Yeah, she'd be like, okay, so there are these houses, but like, I really don't think it's even worth your time because I know it's not what you're looking for.
She did me like that, and I'll be sitting like, I'll be on there like sharing the houses. What about this house? You ain't gonna like it. And Jill, this house. Oh, I like this one. Jill was like, you ain't gonna like this house. I don't know what I'm gonna like then. So she knew what I was gonna like. That's when she felt it.
So I'm gonna tell you, I'm really big on asking the discovery questions about what you want, how big you want your space, how big you want your yard, what do you plan to use your home for? Are you big on entertaining family and friends? Is it pretty much just you? So to me, it's important to ask those questions because I always like to say, like, let's shop smart versus we're just out here. Because I know sometimes people just like certain agents just want to show you everything in your price range. And I'm like, it starts to cloud your mind, you know, because if you see too many, you can't make the decision on, I can't remember if that house had the blue cabinets or was it this house, or I didn't like the wallpaper in that one, but am I confusing it with this one?
Choice fatigue.
It is. It
like
is.
Go to a restaurant with a giant menu, you're like, am I even hungry anymore?
Exactly. And so I'm just like, hey, let's skim it down. Let's really find what meets your needs, but also has some of your wants, especially since it was your second time around. So Evie, let me ask you, how were your nerves? How did you feel? How did you then, process like, hey, we're going to be putting our house up at the same time as trying to look for something else?
So we were in a unique situation because my husband owned the house that we were selling and I was buying the house that we were buying. Not mutually together. We both separately did these things on our own. So I didn't get caught in that situation you were talking about where the debt, because I could not, my income would not have allowed for me to have floated 2 mortgages with a bank. But since I was buying the house on my own and he was selling it, it wasn't an issue. So you were literally buying us a new house in Greenwood and selling our house in Greenwood at the same time. And I believe that both houses closed within about 14 days of each other.
They did.
Yeah. So it was kind of a whirlwind for us because we didn't have your situation where we had a respite place to go to in between. We had to figure out how to get all of our stuff out of Greenville and into Greenwood so basically we had to move into Greenwood before we completely moved out of Greenville. And what really gets me about this is we realized we had left some stuff in our garage when we did the closing. We asked the seller of our house if we could run by, like follow him back and grab our stuff. And he said, no. Yeah. He said, no, if you want me to, I will arrange to have it sent to you and you guys can pay for like the transporting costs. We're like, you know what, never mind. It's just a lawnmower, like a push lawnmower, crappy one. It's fine.
Oh, he is horrible.
Yeah, he kind of was.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
We didn't cut him a break on the house either. So
we didn't. And we told him, hey, look, here's some money for the repairs. So let's talk about, what did you two do to get ready to prepare your home for the market? Did you try to do it on your own, or did you listen to me? How did that go?
Well, with me, I had started doing a little bit on my own because I wanted to upgrade my own house because I was not planning on moving. So I had took up carpet, put down hardwood. I had went through and put up crown molding, had painted the bedrooms and painted the living area. So when you came in, it was like, we got to stage this house for these pictures. And I'm like, okay, Jill, I have it ready for you. Jill came in there. This got to go into the cabinet. This got to go here. This can't do that. I'm like, just take over then. Just do what you need to do. And she just took over. And next thing I know, it was like, voila. I was like, I saw those pictures. I'm like, that is not my house. But yeah, she came in there and made that house look like it was perfection to sell. But when we moved out, it really looked just like the pictures. So she did everything that she knew to do to make that house sell. And I tell you, my house, how long was on market?
3 days. We think I put it up on Thursday. I put it up Thursday afternoon, and we let it show through the weekend. Yep. And then Monday, we just made a call to whoever wanted it.
Yeah, because it was so many. We had so many. It was awesome. I just was overjoyed. Like, I'm like, I'll sell in days.
And I'm gonna tell you what I love, because when I sat down with you and Sean, remember Sean wanted to start at where we end up getting, and I was like, don't do that. Like, let's let the market bid us up. Yes. Let's start here. And if it's really worth that, someone will bid up to this amount. Exactly. And what was beautiful was they bid up. They waived the appraisal. It didn't matter if it appraised or not. Exactly. They waived the repair contingency. We just did a clear CL 100 and it was closing. It was very smooth. So smooth.
It was so easy. It was the easiest thing I've ever done.
I didn't have quite the same experience because, one, my house was an hour away from you. And second, you kind of verbally told me what to do. You were like, you need to paint, you need to fix up some of the wall. There were some wall issues in the kitchen, and neutral colors, just same neutral color. Don't get fancy about it, because people want to imagine what they want for their home to be in. It's hard to do that if you've got like hot pink walls.
Yes.
Not that my walls were
or
hot pink
orange.
I'm just saying.
Or green or blue.
Yeah. Like,
no colors.
Yeah, no colors. Just let it be a blank canvas. And you actually saved me a lot of money because, and I don't know if this was a part of the time being 2021 and there being such a limited inventory of houses at the time, but I was convinced, because I have 2 big dogs, that I was going to have to redo all the hardwoods. And you were like, do not, under any circumstances, redo your hardwood floors. It's expensive and not necessary. And I said, okay. My mother-in-law is a real estate agent, or was retired real estate agent. So she actually came, I believe, and pre-staged the house. And then I said, okay, I think it's staged. Come and check on it. And you did. You came, and I think you moved a couple of things around because I think it'll work a little bit better, like scooched over here.
Yeah.
You know, might want to tweak this a little bit. But for the most part, you said she did a good job. Thank you, Janice. And then once it was staged, I think it sold within a couple of weeks. We did not have the outpouring of people that you said that you had. I don't know if it's because it was a block off of White Horse Road or if it's because I had 1 bathroom. But I think the guy that ended up buying it was like the 2nd or 3rd person to show interest. And
that was it.
And that was it.
Yeah. And so sometimes I'm glad you said that, because I think people need to hear that things have changed since the COVID days. And like you said, even during COVID, you didn't have immediate offers, but you knew that you had done everything you were supposed to do. You still landed a great offer, and you got an offer over asking. So that was perfect. I have included information about listing your home in my home selling guide difference. It walks you through the process of selling your home with me. Click the link below and you'll be able to download it for free. All right, so it's Q&A time. So we're gonna respond to some questions about selling your home. So the first question, what do I do if I want to purchase another home, yet I need to sell my current home first? So what I always tell my people do, and this is just my process, this is how I help my sellers when it comes to selling. I come out to the home, I do a listing consultation, I ask them if they're open to doing any repairs, what does their budget look like for repairs, and then from there, we go about setting a price, and I get their principal mortgage balance to where I can do a net proceeds sheet. That net proceeds sheet shows them mainly most of the fees that attach when selling a home. And so they have the estimation of what they will make off of it. If they're happy with that number, then what we do is we move forward and I connect them with the lender, because that's important for the lenders to know, is how much you look to possibly make off their home. And once I connect them with the lender, they get their pre-approval. They discuss how much they're willing to give of their proceeds for down payment. Then we go ahead with setting a date to get on the market so that we can get them under contract and into their new home. Today's history note explores data about home sales. So it's a lot, so I'm going to read it verbatim. A 2023 Ameriprise financial survey of financial advisors who work with high net worth clients estimated that about 2 out of the 3 own second homes. Black wealth has taken a long time to transfer wealth because of racial discrimination. The 1965 Fair Housing Act allowed for more access to home ownership in the Black community. However, culturally, Black people have stayed in the same home, which I believe is an effect of the centuries-long history of land and home ownership discrimination. We have a chance now to play the equity game. You don't just have to get in one home and stay there. You build wealth from upgrading your home and using that equity to do so. It's power in moving. So don't be afraid or too comfortable staying in your first home or your second home. Not only do you desire to live in your dream home, you must also desire to build even more wealth. And if your current home is working for you, fine, stay in it. You can use your equity to buy something else. Home ownership is still the #1 way to build wealth in the United States. We will talk more about this in the next episode. So let's discuss the takeaways. The home selling process is less stressful when you know why you're moving and all the pieces that go along with moving. And you have a good real estate agent to help guide you through this process. Now that you're aware of what goes into selling your home, let's talk about some of the takeaways I want you to have from this episode. So there are 3. So the first is really consider why you want to move. Do you want more or less space? What about, is it too much upkeep? Are you wanting to downsize on maintenance? Or are you just looking to build equity? What's important in your why when moving? 2, prepare your home to get the best offer. And I think this is the part that a lot of people feel is just a lot. And I always tell my clients, stop thinking you know what the buyer wants. I work with them every day. Please let me guide you, because I've seen people waste money on the wrong things when it comes to getting their home ready for the market, and it didn't benefit them. It didn't bring them a return. Please listen to your trusted real estate agent. Number 3, understanding the listing process, and hire a real estate agent who can guide you through this process. And I think that's the biggest thing. I'm really big on communication, so I'm always going to stay in contact. And I found over the years, not giving you so much up front, but giving you information as we go through this process has just been way more beneficial, and a lot of clients have retained it a whole lot better. So it's really important to find someone that communicates the way you want to be communicated with, and it's going to stay on top of things, and it's going to keep you informed every step of the way. So thank you for tuning into Homegrown Wealth. Make sure that you subscribe and follow. I look forward to giving you more information. And if you know someone who is thinking about selling or should sell, shoot them this episode. It might help them out.